Welcome back, everyone. The school year, of course, ended abruptly for students, but some school districts and families still hosted unofficial or off-site proms and graduations. Trouble with that is experts say that these well-intentioned plans have resulted in positive or suspected cases of COVID-19 for both the students and their guests. Dr. Trina Blythe is a BJC Medical Group pediatrician at Way to Grow Pediatrics in St. Charles County, and she joins us this morning to talk about these large gatherings and the risks associated with them. First of all, Doctor, thank you for your time. It's good to connect with you.
Thank you for having me on today.
So tell me, in your professional opinion here, why are events for high schoolers and kids, especially ones with a large number of attendees, really dangerous during this pandemic?
Well, anytime you put together a large group of people during a pandemic, you run the risk that one or more of those people are already pre-symptomatic or asymptomatically carrying COVID. And then each attendee now has increased their risk of exposure. In fact, there was one such event on July 10th where 19 students subsequently tested positive, 2 of them being patients of mine.
Speaking of patients of yours, as a practicing physician, in pediatrics in particular, what are you seeing in your practice right now?
Well, especially over the last 2 weeks, I'm seeing a remarkable increase in phone calls and visits with patients who've been exposed to COVID-19. I have 3 different types that I'm seeing. One is where young children are being exposed by their adult household contacts. Another one is where children and adolescents are being exposed at large events and gatherings such as proms, parties, post-prom parties, and other types of gatherings, sometimes family events. And then the other is a lot of adolescents are now calling in with positive exposures from their place of employment.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, it doesn't feel like a positive trend in your neck of the woods at the moment.
It's not, definitely. We're seeing these numbers increasing dramatically. And I really want to get the word out there to get people back to their social distancing, wearing their masks, doing proper hand sanitizing, so we can get our numbers back down.
Understood. I, like a lot of people, and I'm sure you can concur with this, I have a great deal of empathy for parents who want to give their kids some of these experiences, these sort of life benchmark experiences that they would have in a normal year, but here we are dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic. How can that sort of thing be done safely? How do you advise parents to handle that?
Well, at this point, I wouldn't advise any large assemblies because there really isn't a safe way to do that. However, if they want to have their students reconnect with their friends, they can do, some small gatherings or maybe even, Zoom or some sort of social media type connections with each other. The other thing is if they, model behaviors that will exemplify that social distancing and wearing their masks and hand washing, then we stand a better chance for getting them back to school next month. And that, of course, will be most of their high school experience. And that's really key.
Amen to that. And just be mindful of the fact that this too will pass. It's temporary. We're making sacrifices now so that we can all embrace one another down the road. Dr. Blythe, thank you so much for the time and the insight. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And folks, we're going to post this segment on our website, kmov.com/greatday, right after the show.